Welcome to the show. I'm Kathy Ireland. From luscious chocolate to rich caramel, whimsically shaped gummies and gooey nugget, candy is the delicious, joyous treat that people enjoy throughout the world. Today we're joined by Michelle Frame, President and Candy Scientist at Victus Ars, to discuss the science behind the incredible candy and how confectionery technology can even help save lives. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Kathy. I am thrilled to be here.
Well, we're thrilled you're with us. And Michelle, can you tell us a bit about Victus Ars and how you've managed to marry the fun side of candy with science?
Certainly. So I have a degree from Purdue in food science, and then I did a summer internship at M&M Mars back in the day. And when I was there, we had an issue with the product that we were trying to make. My boss came over and said, if you aren't having fun, you cannot possibly be successful. Candy's a fun product. And he sent us home for the day. We came back, and by 8:30 the next morning, had the problem solved. At that point, I knew, one, I'm staying in an industry where you have to have fun to be successful. But then there's other pieces of it too. When you look at candy in a small shop, you're just going from the back of the house that we say to the front, and candy doesn't have to transfer that far. But when we look at things that people really love across the market and across the world, that product has to go into a truck, it has to go through distribution centers, all the while not only tasting good, but making sure that it's food safe. We don't want to get anybody sick. So understanding what that takes, the science behind that, the microbiology, the chemistry, the physics of what that does and how you make it at really big volumes, and then how do you keep it safe, and then how do you make sure that it tastes fantastic when people get it.
Oh, that is wonderful. And you know, Michelle, sometimes it's easy to forget how much work goes into making things that we love to eat. What type of clients does Victus Ars typically create for?
Absolutely. So the first one we do is those who are starting up or who have something like a vitamin website that caters to a certain crowd. It might be to kids, it might be to athletes, something like that. And so we'll help them take those vitamin side and get it into a gummy type piece, have it taste really good. So we're working with a lot of those, and we help them get to the co-manufacturer. But then we also work with mid-sized companies and even large companies who might either have issues in their plant or just need help with someone who has just tons of experience. And all of our scientists have a lot of that experience. So we're kind of the go-to place when you just don't understand. Either you need it developed or you're having an issue with something. We're the experts that you can come to. We do training, so we have folks that come in to learn how to do something like make marshmallows just because they need to understand it better.
So at our Chicago lab, we have a team of full-time scientists, and then we also have remote scientists that we have help us when we have really high demand. And what's really important to us is that all of our scientists have production experience, so that our clients can trust that formulas are created to be successfully scaled up. Our clients like our style of communication, where we're able to communicate about the test results, even when it gets a little more scientific, in a way that's clear without being intimidating. And we also relate our findings to what it means for their business.
Being that ICNC is one of the oldest and largest manufacturing incubators in the country, you are surrounded by innovation. So you don't have to necessarily go somewhere else to find out what's the latest and greatest in the industry, it's right here. We will be having hands-on classes, so we'll give people an opportunity to do things like make chocolate or pan chocolate, as well as making gummies. We also have pilot plant equipment coming in that gives our clients an opportunity to see what it looks like in our small facility before they take it out to their big plant.
And your expertise is also at the forefront of the gummy vitamin and supplement market, is that correct?
That is. So when we look at supplements and these active materials that we take, so many people can't take vitamins, right? They're big, they're hard to swallow, they taste awful. So, and yet we know we're supposed to take them just to help our health and such, but doing it in the gummy vitamins makes it so much easier. And we can actually mask these off notes. So these things that taste awful when you swallow a pill, we can mask those flavors so that instead you taste something that just tastes like a berry or orange or something like that.
And so that expertise in formulating with vitamins, minerals, and botanicals, does that also work for pharmaceutical actives?
It does, and that's really what I think I'm most excited about with what we do and what we see ourselves doing in the future, is that An active to us is an active. It's a material that either is going to affect the gummy at some point, and then how do we flavor that? And then also, is the active itself going to stay what it's supposed to do and, stay as active as it's supposed to be? So we can look at those active materials, and if they can withstand a sugar system, then we can take that and get it into some kind of format where we can change the flavor by masking again or by blending off, and we can create materials that just aren't so scary to take. And here's an example, working on with tuberculosis. We lose over 200,000 kids a year to tuberculosis, a disease that we have the medications for and we've had for a really long time. But they have to take over 4 pills a day often for 6 months. And if it goes into a more resistant form, it's over 40 pills a day for a year and a half. This is why my kids just don't make it, because you just can't take all those drugs and they stop. And that's such a sad piece when we do have the methodology. So if we look at, some of the other diseases that kids get too, from malaria to HIV, there's ways we can deliver drugs that's just a different toolbox. So we're not looking at creating a new drug. We're not looking at, coming up with anything else. It's just taking drugs that we already know work and making them so that they're easier to take and taking the scary out of the cure. And we can do that with actives that are in that pharmaceutical range in the way that we can do it for supplements and other things.
Well, Michelle, congratulations to you on everything, and thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me, Kathy. It's been absolutely a blast.
Aw, thank you. And thank you for watching. I'm Kathy Ireland.